going to walk around handcuffs. I'm going to look guilty as you look guilty with handcuffs with police. I mean, the you do. They're going to say all this.
Can UK and US's relationship with each other do anything to you? Is that a risk of yours? Is that a concern of yours, or not at all?
MPs saying, we need to get Andrew Tate. And you know I'm here. So come get me. Come extradite me. If you have such a strong case.
Andrew and Tristan Tate have been arrested in the United States, and the scale of this development is significantly larger and more serious than what has come before it. Public reports indicate that footage of the arrest circulated online almost immediately, showing law enforcement approaching Andrew Tate and taking him into custody while people in his immediate vicinity looked on.
I'm Assistant Chief Constable Karina Thomas, lead for the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit. In 2024, the CPS authorised 21 charges against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate following our investigation into allegations of sexual offences dating back to 2012. Following the initial charges being authorised, we have continued to investigate further offences reported to both Bedfordshire Police and Hertfordshire Constabulary. As a result, 38 new charges in total have now been authorised against Andrew and Tristan Tate, bringing the total number of charges faced to 59.
The moment was unexpected in its timing, striking in how quickly it spread across social media, and significant for what it represents in the formal legal timeline of a case that has been developing for years across multiple countries.
I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free.
This is the attorney for President, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party. Her name is Alina Habba, and she joins us live right now.
Hi.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello. According to public reporting, the total number of charges now facing the brothers across UK proceedings has risen substantially, with headlines citing a figure of 59 charges connected to the ongoing UK case. The UK's Crown Prosecution Service and Bedfordshire Police are seeking extradition so that both brothers can face those charges in English courts. The case in Romania is still proceeding separately and has not produced a conviction, but UK authorities appear unwilling to wait for the Romanian proceedings to conclude before advancing their own case.
Charges relate to 7 victims spanning a period from 2010 to 2017. Our officers have worked closely with the CPS and both national and international law enforcement agencies as part of this complex investigation. I can now confirm that officers from the United States have arrested both Andrew and Tristan Tate in relation to this matter, and they are being detained pending ongoing legal proceedings. We understand the interest that this case will generate, but we would urge the public not to speculate and to allow the legal process to be carried out correctly. I want to make it clear that there is no place for male violence against women and girls in our society, and we will continue to work tirelessly to support victims and investigate all reports made to us. Thank you.
The two tracks are now running in parallel, and what happens in U.S. federal court on the extradition request will determine where the formal legal battle plays out next. To understand what makes this arrest different from previous encounters with law enforcement, it is important to look at the specific nature of the charges now before the courts.
So now you're promoting Me Too feminist culture. The fall off is crazy.
See, it's not Me Too feminist culture. It's the fact that they're actually guilty. And I looked through, well, apparently, according to them, I don't know, allegedly they're guilty. Allegedly. At the time, I did believe it. I believe that they were innocent, but you look into it more, and you look into what the lover boy method is, and you look into what that is, they literally said that they were recruiting women to pimp them out. They had a course talking about how you could become a pimp. Word for word, they just spell out exactly what the lover boy method is. They say, this is how you do it. If you want a girl to fall in love with you so that you could traffic her, buy my course and I'll teach you how. So first, you make her fall in love with you. You have sex with her. Then you program her. Then you take her passport. Then she's in love with you. Then you put her on OnlyFans. It's like, that's what the lover boy method is, word for word. That's what pimping is, allegedly. I don't know what I'm talking about, allegedly. To a T, that's exactly what pimping is, and they just did it online.
The CPS has confirmed that Andrew Tate now faces charges that include multiple counts of SA, charges relating to S trafficking and S exploitation, and offenses connected to indecent images of a minor. Tristan Tate faces charges including counts of SA and charges relating to arranging or facilitating trafficking for S exploitation.
And they did it in Europe. with white women. Look at that too. You know what's so funny is that the Tates that are grifting the white supremacists, like the white incels, the skin worshippers, they literally got rich pimping out European white women because they were better for money. Like they made more money. Do you think that they were pimping out Asian girls and black girls? No, they moved to Romania because the crimes, they thought that we're going to get away with it. They said, Romania's the third world country. I can be a mob boss. I'm a mafia. I could bribe the police. I'm like the cartel of Romania. That's why they moved there. 1. 2, for the women, because they know white women are the best clientele. So, or they make the best for Indians. So these are two black men move to Eastern Europe, predominantly white country, to pimp out white women, destroying the birth rate, and then now the skin worshippers are like, yeah, he's one of me. Yeah. You fall for anything. Like you guys will, all you have to say is a couple things about deporting and then immediately you could just, retweet Tommy Robinson, you're good.
These are serious formal allegations. They have not been proven in court. Both Andrew and Tristan Tate deny all of the charges and maintain their innocence. The formal legal process, including the right to challenge evidence, cross-examine witnesses, and present a defense, will determine what the evidence actually establishes.
Let's see how this all plays out, but I have a strong suspicion that the Florida, if I had to predict the future, which I'm pretty good at, because I was saying I was going to get arrested. I don't know if you saw my old podcast. I kept saying they're going to arrest me. You have 3 lives. I kept saying they're going to arrest me before they arrested me. Here's what I think is going to happen in Florida. I think they're going to get a perp walk. I think they're going to come up with the biggest crock of shit. They're going to arrest me. They're going to walk me in front of the cameras.
Let me clear up this news you're seeing on the timeline. The British state has accused me of a crime. They said 15 years ago I did something I wasn't supposed to do and I'm a criminal. But they won't tell me who against. They won't tell me where it happened. They won't tell me when it happened. They just said 15 years ago you did a crime. And I said, okay, against who? We're not telling you in case you tweet it.
But it is important to understand what the formal authorization of these charges represents. The UK Crown Prosecution Service applies specific legal tests before authorizing any charges, specifically whether there is a realistic prospect of conviction based on the available evidence and whether prosecution is in the public interest.
Why would I tweet it? What are you talking about? Tell me who I committed this crime against so I can defend myself. Nope, we're not going to let you defend yourself. You're accused of a crime. You're charged with a crime. We won't tell you who against. And I said, well, then how do I put a defense together? And they said, well, if you come to England, we'll tell you. I said, sure, I'll come to England. No problem. All I want to know is, can you guarantee I will not be remanded in custody? They said, no, we're not going to guarantee you that. If you come to England, there's a strong chance you're going to go to Belmarsh, remanded in custody for years, pre-trial.
The fact that the CPS authorized this expanded set of charges means that the evidential threshold was met across all of the categories of alleged offenses. That is a meaningful and significant legal determination even before any trial begins. The CPS issued an official statement addressing the latest development.
And I'm like, so you are accusing me of a crime. You've issued a warrant. You won't tell me who the crime was committed against, if they even exist, because they don't. These are made up victims, completely made up. They have people hiding behind anonymity and just attacking me, demanding millions of euros, millions of dollars for things that happened in 2009. Nobody's telling me what these things are. Nobody's telling me who these people are. Nobody's telling me when they happened, where they happened, nothing. And they're saying if I go to jail, they'll tell me, but I have to fly to England and put myself in jail. And I know you're wondering, how come when Britain, as it collapses and doesn't give a about grooming gangs, doesn't give a about the stabbings, doesn't care about the drugs on the street, doesn't care about any of the real crime, how come they keep talking about Andrew Tate? That's because I highlight the problems with the country. They don't want to fix the problems. They want to get rid of me for talking about the problems.
Malcolm McAfee, head of the CPS Special Crime Division, confirmed that charges had been authorized after receiving a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire Police. The statement also included a reminder that both defendants are entitled to a fair trial and that any commentary on the case that could influence the proceedings should be approached carefully while the case is active in court. The brothers' defense attorney issued a public response to the arrest and the expanded charges. According to the statement, the lawyer said his clients were innocent and claimed that the new charges were designed to counter defamation claims the brothers had filed in the United States. The statement argued that the world knows Andrew and Tristan are innocent.
So why do I get to travel the world so freely? Why have I been to 25 countries this year? Because when I land in Hong Kong and the British government call the authorities and say, we need Andrew Tate, we have a warrant, the authorities say, well, what's the warrant for? And who's it against? And the British state says, we don't want to tell you who the victims are. The victims don't exist, so no country will extradite me. So I'm traveling the world completely free. No country respects England anymore. Nobody's sending me to them. I'm living as a free man. They keep putting on the BBC that they want to get hold of me. And I'm saying, tell me who my accuser is and I'll come talk to you. And they're like, no, because they've completely made it up. They've made it up to slander me in the media over and over and over again. Their intention is to just lie about me, lie about charges, lie about victims, lie, so that I don't support Rupert or I don't support Farage.
That their enemies are fully aware of their innocence and that the charges represent a political attack rather than a legitimate legal action. The attorney also expressed confidence that once a competent judge examines the facts and the Department of Justice confronts what he characterized as an abuse of authority, the Tate brothers would walk free. He further stated in explicit terms that America does not do Britain's political work. Those are the defense's publicly stated positions.
The brothers were taken into custody in Miami by the U.S. Marshals Service on Saturday, according to the Associated Press. British prosecutors allege that the Tate brothers raped and trafficked women between 2010 and 2017, but the brothers have denied these allegations. Both of them have previously faced human trafficking allegations in Romania after their 2022 arrest, but that case didn't move forward because of legal issues. The brothers remain in U.S. custody as the extradition process moves forward.
They represent the legal team's characterization of the situation and should be understood as part of the adversarial legal process rather than as an established account of the facts. The courts will evaluate the evidence on both sides before reaching any conclusion. One aspect of the public discussion surrounding this latest development involves the political dimension. Andrew Tate has maintained public alliances with figures in U.S. political circles, including Donald Trump, and there has been significant online speculation about whether those connections could influence the extradition process.
I'm tall, brown, rich, and sexy, so I have a strong suspicion that's one of the reasons the UK hates me so much. Because the UK is now a fallen nation. It's a completely communist country. You can't speak out. Isn't it interesting that not too long ago, America would talk about going to war and people for the idea of democracy and freedom. And now our allies, like the United Kingdom, will lock people up for tweets. Or even worse, Trump and Vance will put Zelensky in his place, which needed to be done, and then our allies will invite him over the next day and hug him and shake hands and promise him money.
How do you feel about that?
Well, what I feel like is that they're not even our allies anymore. That's snakery.
Tate has at times suggested those alliances provide meaningful protection from legal action. The reality of how extradition works tells a more complicated story. The UK and the United States have a formal bilateral extradition treaty, and extradition requests proceed through established legal channels, including federal courts, not through political relationships. The US-UK relationship itself is long-standing and deep, and the formal legal frameworks underpinning it operate independent of the personal relationships any individual defendant may have with political figures on either side. That does not mean the extradition will proceed quickly or without legal challenge. The Tate brothers' legal team is expected to contest the extradition request at every available stage. Extradition proceedings can take months or years when actively contested. What it does mean is that no personal political alliance substitutes for a favorable ruling from a federal court, and it is the courts, not political figures, that will determine whether the extradition proceeds. Another thread in the public discussion involves the perspective of Sneako, a content creator who was previously publicly associated with Andrew Tate's circle, and who has since publicly stated that he has changed his view and now believes the brothers may be guilty of the crimes they have been accused of. That stated change of opinion attracted significant attention online. It is worth being clear about what Sneako's opinion represents. It is the publicly expressed view of one content creator, not legal analysis, not evidence, and not a finding of any court. The same principle applies in both directions. Neither public support for nor public criticism of Andrew Tate constitutes evidence of anything relevant to the formal charges. The legal outcome will be determined by evidence presented under formal legal standards in a courtroom, not by the positions of online commentators, regardless of their platform size or prior association with the defendant. What is true is that the broader public conversation about Andrew Tate has shifted in the period since his first arrest in Romania.
There's no place for male violence against women and girls in our society.
Friendly reminder to everybody at home. The UK government does not care about women. It allows grooming gangs to groom at length for decades. They don't care. They won't even investigate it. They won't look at it. They open the borders and allow in millions of military-age men, God knows where they're from, without passports, no one knows their criminal record, from questionable countries, which obviously have a misogynistic worldview, because I'm the world's worst misogynist. They allow these people to roam our streets. They pay for them to come, and they pay for them to live for free, which makes women unsafe. They have no time to police any of this. They have no time to investigate any of this, but they have time to drag up allegations on me from 15 years ago for talking about these issues.
Some former supporters have publicly distanced themselves. Public controversies around various business activities and ventures have added to the scrutiny surrounding him. The volume of organized online support that characterized the early period following his initial arrest in Romania appears to have diminished somewhat in the current environment. Whether any of that matters to the formal legal case is a separate question, and the answer to that question is that it does not. What matters to the formal legal case is the evidence the CPS says it has assembled through Bedfordshire Police's investigation and what the courts ultimately conclude about that evidence. The situation the Tate brothers find themselves in as of this arrest is substantially more serious than anything they have faced before in formal legal terms, not primarily because of the public attention or the political environment, but because of the specific nature, number, and seriousness of the charges now formally authorized by the Crown Prosecution Service after what they describe as a formal evidential review by Bedfordshire Police. Previous encounters with law enforcement, including the initial arrests in Romania and the subsequent legal proceedings there, have not produced a conviction.
They cared about women, they'd fix the issues. They don't care about women. Do not buy it for a second. They don't care about women. They don't care about young girls being safe. They don't care about combating misogyny. They don't care about any of that. They care about control and locking up anyone who highlights the problems inside of the UK. It is so broken. They are not trying to fix the problems. Instead, they're trying to get rid of the people who talk about the problems. The UK government does not give a single about women and girls, or they'd stop the boats. They don't give a single about women and girls, or they'd stop the grooming gangs. Why are they dragging up allegations on me from 15 years ago?
The Romanian case has continued without a final resolution, and the brothers have remained free during much of that period. That track record has contributed to a public perception in some quarters that the legal cases against them inevitably collapse. The UK case represents something structurally different. A separate set of investigations by Bedfordshire Police, a separate set of complainants totaling 7 in the UK proceedings, and a separate legal system with its own processes and standards. The charges in the UK case, including the specific counts of SA and the trafficking-related offenses, are serious and specific. They cover alleged conduct across a multi-year period, and they have been authorized by the CPS after what the organization describes as a formal evidential review. That does not guarantee conviction. It does establish a formal basis for trial that goes significantly beyond anything the brothers have previously faced in the UK specifically. Whether Andrew Tate ultimately believes that facing the UK case and clearing his name in an English court is the better outcome than fighting extradition indefinitely is a question only he can answer. Some observers have noted that successfully defeating all charges in a formal trial would provide a form of legal vindication that years of public statements cannot. Others point to the potential for lengthy pretrial detention and to the serious nature of the specific allegations as reasons that contesting the charges through the full trial process would be an extraordinarily high-stakes gamble.
By promising women money if they lie. And after an extensive investigation, contacting over 1,000 women, they found 3 girls who were prepared to lie. What about the 997 who said I'm a nice guy? This is a setup. This is a stitch-up. And do not buy their garbage for a second that they give a single about the young women inside the UK, because they don't care.
Those are questions for the defense to evaluate as the formal proceedings move forward. What is not a question is that the charges are now formally authorized, and on the record, the extradition process has been formally initiated in U.S. federal court, and the next significant milestones will be decided by judges, not in online discussions, not through political relationships, and not through public statements from any party to the proceedings. The CPS statement closing out the public announcement of these charges included a phrase that is worth acknowledging directly: "We protect our women." That statement is significant because it signals how UK authorities are framing the public interest dimension of this prosecution as a matter of protecting victims and potential victims from the categories of conduct alleged, not simply as a matter of pursuing two specific individuals.
Mr. Keir Starmer, I heard you're in a little bit of trouble. I've got bad news for you because you're in a whole bunch more. I'm here in America and I've just been handed a document which proves that Morgan McSweeney, who was your chief of staff under the Labour government, was behind the entire attack that happened against me. It breaks international law. It completely breaks the presumption of innocence. It shows the corruption of the British state. You are worse than a communist. You're a scumbag. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. You have no public support. Nobody believes the things you say about me. Nobody supports you. And I now have the paperwork. So now I have to decide.
That framing is also relevant to understanding why UK authorities appear to have moved in parallel with the Romanian proceedings, rather than waiting for Romania to resolve its case first.
Which judge sees these papers? And where I take you and your entire cabal of corrupt pieces of who have completely destroyed the once great Britain, all of you scumbags, and Morgan McSweeney especially, are going to see a courtroom, and you are going to face justice for what you have done in your attempt to silence.
The allegations remain unproven. The brothers deny all charges. The courts will determine what the evidence establishes, and the extradition process, whenever it concludes, will determine in which courtroom that determination is made. Every confirmed official development in this case will be covered here as it emerges through formal channels and official statements rather than through speculation or secondhand reporting. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you stay updated on every significant confirmed development. SpillHop. We do not just report the story, we slow it all the way down completely, go deeper than the headlines, and make sure you actually walk away understanding what is really happening, how it fits together, and why it matters.